Hey guys, so hopefully that's better. I'm just going to try and get my phone back into the tripod so I can work on it without... Okay, so I think that's fine. So hopefully you can see that now. Hey, if anyone's going to come back and join me. Sorry, I just hung up then. So this is my October Plan With Me video. Because I hadn't uploaded a Plan With Me. Plan With Me's actually take absolutely ages to film and upload. They are... I love doing them, but they are a bit of a time suck, to be honest. So I was running really late this month, so I just did my setup, and then I was like, oh, do you know, it would be really cool to actually share it and maybe have a little chat and everything while we do it. So hopefully this is a kind of cool way of doing it. I'm not promising that I'll do it again necessarily like this, as I've obviously forgotten how to do live. But yeah, this is my setup for October. I'm gonna have a little swig of tea. I've got some pumpkin chai tea, which is lovely and very autumnal here the last week or so, which is really lush actually. I'm loving it. So October, I've gone with orange, which made me laugh because I look back at last year's and it's the same it's the same colours that I went with last year, except last year I did like orange and green, and this year I've done kind of orange and yellowy gold. So I've used my leaf stamps to make the little leaf prints here, and I either use my Tombos or the colours I've used in this one. I use this Tombow, which is like a kind of gold, which is number 26, and I use two Faber Castell Pitt brush pens as well. The colours are green gold and terracotta, these colours here. I also use my Tombow Sudhanuske pen, and like I said, I colour with these on the stamps, so you can just go like so you know, basically you don't need to buy stamp pads all the time. You can use these to make perfectly good stamps as well, you know, just with your pens. And I also use this kind of gold pad as well. I'm glad that's a better view. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know what, I haven't done a live for such a long time now. I think it's over 6 months, I think, since I've done a live, maybe even more than that, because I used to do the live moon streams, and I'm thinking I might go back to that next year. I did include a death, like a skull, because I've been using skulls in all of my, because death is my card for this year, so I've been using skulls in all of my monthly setups. I bought like a pack of skull stickers and used those. I'm kind of running out now. I chose this one mainly because of the colours, so it kind of blended in. And I found this really cute little poem, and I love this fox, The Detail of Dreaming Fox, which is by Casey Joe, and the poem says, burrowed in, hands and feet sunk deep, lips and tongue tasting dirt, rich and fertile, wet and wild, follow the trickle tears of life, down a tunnel, dark and deep, to the cavern, silent burrow. Settle yourself by the eternal fire, claw the ash to feed your roots, and clothe yourself in the possibilities of tomorrow. And that poem is Burrow by Kelly Tomlin, and that was out of last year's Earth Pathways, so the 2018 Earth Pathways diary. The dog's going crazy now in the background. Oh, Jan says, am I going to do a planning series at the end of the year again? I still go back to videos from the end of 2018 for inspiration. Oh, that's cool, Jen. Do you know, I hadn't even really thought about doing that, because I felt like it might, like, people can use those existing videos. I don't think maybe I might do one where I'll show like what changes I've made, perhaps, so that, you know, if that might be useful. But yeah, I really enjoyed making that series though and doing the lives, which is really cool. And this is a big change for me. So I've gone, normally, let's find one of my last, so usually I do like a big double page calendar spread, because I do write in the things that we've got going on, and I find that really useful. But what I was finding is I hadn't been checking in with my habit trackers as much as I want to be. I kind of forget that they're there because they're on a separate page, so I forget to fill it in. So what I wanted to do is try and find a way where I could have my calendar, my goals and plans for the month, and my habit tracker all on one page. So I've condensed down my calendar into just 5x5 squares, and they still fit my moon stamps in for the phases. I've got these gorgeous little moon stamps for the phases, which is great because they still fitted in the boxes. I don't know if it's going to get on my nerves because I can't write, like you can see I've kind of had to write really tiny. But if you use, I use these Muji, they're 0.38 nib pens, and so you can write really tiny. Like my writing is not the best, but you can write quite small, so I'm hoping that will be okay. And I've got my habit tracker squeezed in here, so it is a bit chaotic. There is a lot going on. I haven't filled in my plans yet. I'm going to be thinking about that over the next, well, today I think I'm going to work on that, work out what my plans are. I've deliberately not left much space because I've been finding that when I have months where I have like a huge massive mound of goals, I just don't really do very much of them, whereas if I pick much more focused and specific goals, then I will do those. So I've got that. Yeah, Jen, yeah, Frodo's barking in the background. We've just taken him out for a walk because it's been so wet the last couple of days. He's had very quick, very brief walks because he doesn't really like being out in the pouring rain. And now this afternoon it's come out really beautiful, so we just took him out for a lovely walk, so that was really nice. Hey, Bookish Daily! Oh, Jen, do you mean that would be excellent to do just like what's changed in my planning? So maybe I will do that. And then I normally have my cards on my calendar page, so this is another change as well. I've pulled them out onto a page of their own, and I'm going to draw them now. I thought that would be cool to kind of do that with you guys here as well. And I've left a space for thoughts because it's like, well, I have these cards and I kind of think about them, but what would be good is if I could check in with the cards through the month and at the end of the month particularly, and actually like see how it went. You know, a bit like Lisa Tarot Alchemist, she does those like monthly wrap-up videos where she checks in with her cards that she'd pulled from at the start of the month, and she checks in with them at the end of the month and like reflects on it. I want to be able to do, like, you know, that's not a very big box for reflecting, and I obviously do journal in my journal as well, but I thought like the key points would be good there, and that would be something that would be useful to come back to. So yeah. Keegan, oh that's it. Oh, hi Keegan. Yeah, I hope it's going to be a good idea. So what I've got my cards for, I keep them like on my, I've got like a little, I think it's supposed to be for like photos, a little butterfly that has, you can kind of put things on. So I keep my cards there on my desk, and these are my cards from last month. I didn't work with daisy. I think because there aren't very many daisies, and it's like I say, it's been kind of really, really wet as well. Plant-wise, I've been working with mint a lot this month, so it's, yeah, that's interesting. And I'm not sure that I'm definitely going to continue pulling quite as many cards for each month. I think sometimes that can be a little bit overwhelming as well. Hey, Mimi! So my card that I pulled at the start of the year for September was the moon, and it's really funny because the moons have been, and the moon, that kind of unconscious stuff, I've been having a lot of quite full-on dreams and stuff this month, and I feel so, I'm loving it now that we've got over that Libra new moon hump. Was really feeling kind of shitty really just before that moon. So yeah, the moon was a really good card. And then I pulled 5 of Wands. As each month, this is my card that like I pulled when I did my year ahead spread, and then this is the card that I pulled for the month then as well. And that's, you know, 5 of Wands is kind of like arguing and people kind of trying to kind of one up each other a little bit. No one can agree, and like things aren't getting done, and like the cauldron's boiling over and the floor's getting set on fire because people aren't working together. And like I haven't really felt that energy this month. But I think perhaps I've been more like, it's almost like these are aspects of myself. And so I've been like kind of arguing amongst myself, if that makes any sense at all. I could be a crazy person. So it's like I haven't let myself move forward because I've been having kind of more internal struggles and conflicts, that kind of thing. Hey, Willow Moon Witch. So yeah, so those are my 2 tarot cards. I pulled rutilated quartz, which I love, which is very kind of like sun powerful crystal for this month. I pulled dating. Like I said, I haven't really worked very much with that, which is ironic. Maybe I should have. The little line on the card is be yourself, and that perhaps I wasn't, you know, which self? Which self? That was the problem. And I pulled rabbit, which was a lot to do with like kind of going forward and not being fearful. And I think I probably was a bit fearful, and I didn't move forward, so I didn't really heed the rabbit magic perhaps as much as I should have done. So it'll be interesting to see what comes up for me this month. I'll pop those there for a second. I've got the decks next to me here. I'm going to work with Dark Days. I've decided for October. When I first got this deck, I absolutely loved it, and I worked with it loads and loads and loads and loads. And then I kind of stopped working with it, and now I don't. I hardly ever reach for it. And I was having a little sort through of my decks because I am going to be having a bit of a clear out. And I thought I'm going to give this deck another chance this month and see how I get on with it. And if I like it, then I'll keep it. If not, it's going to go. I've got like, at the moment, I've got like a definitely keep pile. I've got a definitely get rid of pile. I say pile, there's only one deck there. And I've got a, I'm not sure about pile, which has got a few things lingering around on there. Hey, Creative Coffee. So that's my deck. So I'm going to fill that in. Maybe I'll use the brush punny, because these are quite, they're not really like thick brushes, so you can write fairly small with them, so I think that will still work okay. So Dark Days is going to be my deck. Spirit Song was my deck for last month. Do you know, I didn't really reach for tarot that much during the month. Like normally I use tarot every day. Well, I suppose I've got a little deck in my bag, I've got a little deck in my bedside table, and I was using those decks probably more, but I wasn't coming up to the attic so much and using the Spirit Song to do like kind of big spreads and stuff like that so much. Sorry, I'm gonna have another cup of tea. This is like when I do my journaling, it's normally very chill. Like I just leave the camera kind of there and just do it, and then that's why it takes me ages editing after, because I have to like take all the little pauses where I just drink tea and kind of stare into space for a little bit. So let's do my cards for the month. Now, I'm not really loving my card for next month because I'm pretty sure it's the 5 of Pentacles. For October, yeah, so that doesn't bode too well. That was what I pulled in my year ahead spread, so let's find that. And I'll draw a card for next month, for October then as well, out of this deck. And see, things like this take ages. Sorry guys, chat amongst yourselves. It feels really weird doing a live because I just haven't. Oh, there we go. Because you do get that little like, oh my gosh, and especially like when I got it on and I didn't know what I was doing. Okay, that's a really good question. Creative Coffee says, will you use Dark Days exclusively? So how I usually do it is that I have, like I said, I've got a deck in my bag that I carry around with me. I've got like a little tinned Rider-Waite that I keep in my bag. I should have done this on the hard table, not on there. So that is like, I tend to use that for quick little pulls if I need to, you know, like if I need to do something, like if I'm in the car or out and about somewhere. And then I've got a deck in my bedside table, which I do rotate that one out. At the moment I've got Shadowscapes in my bedside table, so sometimes I find myself using my bedside table deck more than I do my main deck. But in theory, the deck that I use for the month that's the deck that I keep on my desk. So when I come up, I generally do like a spread every day. I've been working through the tarot, the 365 tarot spread. So, but the last couple of months, I've probably only been doing it like twice a week, something like that instead. So yeah, in theory it's my kind of exclusive deck. Oh, that's a little bit more respite, isn't it, for the Five of Pentacles. So I've got Knight of Cups as well. Yeah, I'll take that. So let's write those in. So my card is the Five of Pentacles. I'm going to just draw that. And then also the Knight. So I feel like that kind of watery, it's, you know, like a water, so it's a water and earth. And look, the colours are quite similar actually in those cards, aren't they? There's a lot of blue going on. Like here we've got frozen water, we've got snow, and here we've got obviously not frozen water, the sea it looks like in there. So this is Everyday Witch as well. Sorry, I should have said that as well in case you're wondering. This is Everyday Witch. That's the deck that I use to do my year ahead spread. So I tend to take those cards out there and then I'll put them into my little butterfly thing and they'll stay there in front of me throughout the month. So I'll pop them there. I'll feed them into that in a minute. So that's those. And then stone. I've got the Lavish Earth. So last month it was the Rutilated Quartz. And like I said, I'm thinking I'm going to change this up because I actually feel like it's almost like too much. It's too much information and also like too quick sometimes to work with some of the cards I'm pulling. I could do with longer to work with the cards when I'm using like these kind of cards like the Lavish Earth or well, with the animals to it. I suppose the animals to a certain extent, but definitely with the plant cards, I find that I could do with much longer to work with them than just a month. Which is funny when you think it's like just one card. Selenite. Okay, so I've got loads of selenite, so that is nice. I can have some physical examples of that. I might even grab up, I've got like a selenite tower down here somewhere, so I might yoink that up and stick it on my desk. A huge selenite tower, so let's put that where I'm going to put the rest of my cards as well. So it says, selenite is especially effective as a partner crystal. Use it with other crystals and minerals to magnify and support their properties and keep them clear. Use selenite for spiritual, physical or emotional clearing and to keep your space and other crystals and minerals vibrant and ready to work. Just reading that, you know, it makes me feel so, this is exactly what I need. I feel like I need to clear to be ready to do work. So not just the crystals, hopefully I'll have that effect on me as well. It's like there's so many things kind of going on and swirling around. Like I was talking about that Five of Wands energy. It's almost like battling within myself, and so being able to clear, ready to do some work, clear some sort of space, that just sounds amazing. Just as selenite enhances and clears other minerals, the vital life force of essential oils are amplified and enhanced when paired with selenite. One of the world's most spectacular mineral deposits is the Cave of Swords in Mexico, where massive 6.5 foot selenite crystals are found. Wow, that's incredible. So keywords: clearing, partnerships, support, enhance. And you know, we're in Libra season now, so partnerships and support, that sounds very good to me. And it's interesting, isn't it, that like support with selenite, because selenite is so kind of brittle and breaks easily, so you know, you wouldn't have thought they would be a particularly good crystal for support, but I guess kind of working with rather than kind of holding things up. Yeah, that's interesting to think about, so I will ponder on that a little bit more. So selenite, it's a crystal I do work with quite a lot. Let's see what it says around the urge. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. And that's a Carl Jung quote. So let's put my selenite by my selenite. And let's do, I was going to do plants, but let's do animal because that's what I've written down next. Sorry, you guys doing anything? Yeah, I love the colours in the Everyday Witch. It is really vibrant. Mimi says love the cozy. I know, when I was doing my journaling, I was feeling a bit like, oh, because I hadn't done it, and I was feeling a little bit kind of like, not stressed, but like I feel so much better going into the month when I've already set up my journal. And I was like, oh, maybe I'm going to get to October and I'm not going to have set it up, and that hasn't happened for a long time now. I'm usually kind of on the ball, but like my daughter had not been well, and I wasn't very well, and yeah, things have been going on. And so I thought, right, I'm going to make my space real cozy, really autumny. And then it was like, oh, well, it already looks pretty cool now, and I've done this, so maybe I'll just pop on live and share it. So yeah, so that's my although my tea's kind of a little bit cold now because I've been chatting rather than drinking. So this deck I'm absolutely loving. I've used this loads this year. This is the Animal Allies Oracle cards by Jessica Swift. They're a bit big for my hands, but I do like it once you've chosen them. You can't kind of miss it then when it's in front of you. It really kind of grabs you. Oh, I've kept the ways to use this deck card in. So yeah, they're a little bit tricky for me to shuffle because they are big. I shuffle all my cards in this orientation as well because my hands are quite small. But these ones I definitely need to do it like that. Raccoon. Okay, so now raccoon is not an animal that I'm that familiar with working with because it is not like a native animal. We don't have raccoons in the UK. So let's see. My kids call them trash bears. I think that's what like kids on YouTube call raccoons. So it'd be interesting to see what it says that they're all about on here. So raccoon, disguise, curiosity, cleverness. Are you wearing a mask to fool or hide from yourself or others? Raccoon invites you to take an honest look at your various identities and all the roles you play in life. So if you heard me chatting about the Five of Wands card from last month, this is like really, yes. It's more like kind of the competing things I've got going on. Is it time to don a new mask in order to transform yourself into who you want to become? Who are you being in the world and who would you like to be? That's really interesting because like most of the time when I think about masks, I feel like I just want to like not have a mask. I just want to be able to go out not wearing a mask and just let people kind of see me. But new mask, that's interesting. Yeah, that's definitely food for thought. So I will pop that there and I will write it down. And then last but not least, we have, let's put that there, the My Tall's Illustrated Herbiary. Oh, Jen saying, gosh, I feel you there, Jessica. I just realised I haven't set up my planner or my boudoir for October yet. Yeah, I don't get like me about it. I love my journal, don't get me wrong, I love it. And the reason that it gets me a little bit stressed when I haven't done it is because it does make me feel, I feel so much better going into the month when it's ready because I feel like I've already got a kind of head start on the month. But don't feel like, you know, please don't get into the loop like me then when I feel stressed if I haven't. Although I suppose, like I say, I just get it done. I try and get it done, even if it's like not pretty. And that's why this month I took the pressure off myself to share it. I just kind of thought, as I'd already done it and it was like okay and quite different from how I'd been doing it, that I would share. But I didn't have to, and that felt really good. Liz is saying, not done mine yet. Out for ritual tonight, so it'll happen tomorrow. Yeah, and there's still time, isn't there? We've still got time. Oh, hey, Elaine. Keegan says you call them trash pandas. I'll have to tell my kids that. They'll love that. Yeah, Mimi with Rick, Selenite and Raccoon. Oh, hey, Donna. Yeah, so this is like kind of not really a good, like a plan with me, because it's more like, I guess, like a wrap up type. So what have we got? White sage. Clear the way. Okay, so I'm getting... I need to clear. I need to get rid of the old masks. I need to, you know, make space for things that are coming in. I get it. I get it. So I do use white sage sometimes, but generally I tend to use the sage that we have, like garden sage around here, and I also use mugwort, mental symbols on there. And I've started to think about my word for next year as well, and I'm feeling like something like elemental or simple. Maybe it should be clear. Is, you know, that feels like what's bubbling up for me at the moment. So it's definitely something that I'm like bubbling up, you know. From this cauldron. Yeah, it's been a really interesting year. I've loved the depth year, and I'm still learning so much from it. You know, there's still, obviously we've got the last quarter of the year left still. So I feel like my focus is going to be, I'm just going to put clearing, because that is what is coming through loud and clear. Oh no, is the video not working? Hang on, let me see. Is it working again now or no? It's still counting down for me. Hopefully it'll kick back in. Can anyone let me know if the video is working again, so I can see? I can see it's frozen. Oh, maybe I should pause and start again. If I can do that, I might have to take it out and start it again. Sorry guys, the joys of live. Oh, okay. Liz is saying it's fine. It just stopped for 30 seconds. It might be that my internet is not that great, so hopefully it's working again now, because I don't think I know how to turn it off and turn it back on again without taking it out. Okay. So Elaine asked me, can I talk quickly about how you work with these, if that's possible in a few minutes? Do you mean with the cards for the month, Elaine? Let me know, and I'll have a little, I'll carry on flicking through. Hopefully you will, it's not frozen up. So that'll go with the rest of my cards in front of me. So that I'll write my thoughts, like the kind of summary of my thoughts. I'll go through towards the end of the month and fill that in here. And then field notes. I've been doing this, you know, for quite a long time now, and I'm just going to note down what I've been seeing and observing in nature while I've been out and about each day of the month. I did pull out, and I've got some little stickers and things here. Oop, they're getting stuck underneath my first part of the year journal, because I wasn't quite happy with how these pages look a little bit like they could do with something else. So I'm going to add a few bits and bobs. And I tend to find that as I come to pages, as I'm going along as well, that I'll add little things like that in. And, you know, your feelers, that says, but it isn't really appropriate necessarily. It's just because it was the right sort of colours. That's why I chose that. The little leaf down here. Okay, so yeah, field notes are going to be going there. And then we have... Now, I did this last month. I had like what I wanted October to feel, what I wanted September last month to feel like. And... oh yeah, the video I can see now where it's frozen. It's freezing for me now on the screen, so perhaps it'll catch up, hopefully. How I want it to feel. And I've got mindful, conscious, light, strong and organised. I suppose clear. Maybe I'll add clear onto that list as well. Clear. Clarity. That feels like it is obviously something that is coming through for me. Let's add some of these little leaves on as well. So I also inspo, which is like things that I come across during the month that I want to share or, you know, dive into a little bit more, kind of like a favourites, I suppose. Follow up, because I often find that there's things that I'm like, oh, that's interesting, and I haven't got time to really look into it. So this is my little box for putting all that kind of stuff down. It's also freezing up. Maybe I'll turn it off and turn it back on and see what happens. Or if I can pause it, maybe. I don't know if you can do that. Hang on. Can you still hear me, or can you just, the picture's just not doing anything? Oh, so you can hear me chatting, but just no picture. Oh, so annoying. Right, let me see if I can... I'll turn it off and turn it back on again. We'll see if I can do anything with it.